Hello, all. Welcome on into our tarot spread for the week ahead. This is the week that began with August 18th, 2025, but as it is August 19th, 2025, I'm going to be reading from today on. And as usual, these are all just energies or themes or ideas or situations we might be dealing with this week. And although the cards are read on a day-by-day basis, this could have been something you just went through this weekend. This could be something that might come up in a few days as opposed to today. Just know the stuff that's read in the earlier part of the week is likely stuff that is either happened or you're going through now, and stuff in the later part of the week is likely stuff that's coming up in the future. But hey, there are no rules here. Your life is your life and things happen in their own time, right? There is no, like I've probably said this before, but my approach to tarot is more of like a self-awareness and a perspective approach as opposed to a predictive approach. I can't tell you your future. I'm sorry, you have a choice. Well, I'm not sorry you have a choice, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's why you're here. I'm sorry if you're here because because you think that I can somehow tell you your future. So this week, because it came up over the weekend, I was talking about it with a very lovely person in my life. I was talking about movie-themed tarot decks. So we are using the movie tarot deck today, which is illustrated by Natalie Foss and written by Diana McMahon Collis. Again, I always want to apologize if I'm pronouncing either of those names incorrectly. The movie tarot, and as you can tell probably by the cover, it's a little bit more modern Hollywood era focused, as opposed to classic Hollywood focused. But hey, movies are movies, and they are amazing sources of art and entertainment and escapism if we're looking for that. So let's see what is written in the movie stars, if you will. I think it actually says that on the side of the box or something to that effect. So I'm not going to claim that as completely my own. So let's see what we've got. And as always, if nothing pops out immediately, we'll just start pulling. Oh, like that one. There we go. There's our first one. That's our overall weekly theme. Or theme for the week, and or at least the next little bit. Probably the bigger lesson, if you will, or the main lesson we're learning here in this. All right. Kind of like when decks look like this on the back. Well, kind of gives it away, but when decks are like this on the back, I can tell which ones are going to be a reversed card. Spoiler alert, it's this guy. So if you want a little preview with your reads, this would be a good deck for that. So our overarching theme of the week is Seven of Coins. Traditionally called Seven of Pentacles. Also, I've seen it as Seven of Discs. So discs, coins, pentacles, all the same suit. And as usual, this is our suit of earth, the element earth. It's our suit of the physical things, the material things we can sense, so things we can touch, taste, hear, smell. It's our physical health, our wellness, our well-being. It's our career, our work, our profession, or any combination of those. As this is a collective reading for everybody, obviously take what applies to you this week and leave the rest, and that's cool. So Seven of Coins actually tells us this is a good week to appreciate what we've built. It's a good week to take a little bit of a pause and say, yeah, I did that. I built this. I finished that project at work. I ran that half marathon, or I completed my first week of training for that 5K, or I went to the gym once last week, whatever it is, whatever feels like an accomplishment to you, take the time to really relax and appreciate it and appreciate where you are, how far you've come, and what you've grown. Because this really is about appreciating the work that you've done to get where you are. And it's a good time to pause before, moving on and rushing right into something else or continuing the work, because it might be work to continue in the case of like training for a road race. You might have completed that first week, but obviously you've still got a couple of weeks ahead of you. So take that time to pause, though, and really appreciate it. Maybe if you have a day to just relax and enjoy and not focus on, that got to do it, got to get it done sort of energy, and more of that relaxing of that, yeah, I did it sort of energy. Good week for it. Good week for it. 7 of coins. So for Tuesday, or the earlier part of our week, we have David Bowie from in his character from Labyrinth. Was he called Jareth? Is that the character from Labyrinth? Anyway, but it's David Bowie from Labyrinth. That much I know. And this is the moon. So in the earlier part of this week, we're probably going to have some big intuitive feelings, possibly some emotional feelings, some big, maybe some dreams that especially feel foretelling, or that we think are trying to tell us something. We might notice coincidences. We might notice things that seem like they hit us a little deeper below the surface, not in a bad way, but more in an intuitive knowing sort of way. Follow those instincts, follow those gut feelings, follow that intuition, really tap into it. And don't be afraid to bridge that deeper knowing, that deeper intuitive sense with the real world. Don't be afraid to say things like, I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling. And things like that. That's very much moon energy. Lean into that. And take some time to be quiet if you have to. Maybe in the spirit of this appreciation, take some time to be quiet and go deeper. And enjoy that. Enjoy that reflection. Sometimes we see, I'm going to go back to this. Sometimes we see what's in the dark when we shine a light on it. Yeah. And let's see, here we have the Empress. I believe that I can look in the guidebook, but I believe this is Elizabeth Taylor, and maybe this is a nod to Cleopatra, if I had to guess, maybe. Maybe not, I can check, but believe that's Elizabeth Taylor. And the Empress is about being open to receive, I think, for us this week. There can be a certain feeling of growth and nurturing and a fertility, not necessarily I was going to say a baby making fertility. That's the best words I've got right now. I'm sorry. But so not necessarily that type of fertility, but a fertility of creativity, a fertility of thought, a creation, perhaps babies, if that's what you're aiming for. But really, I think generally speaking here, we're appreciating the work we've done. We're nurturing, we're growing with this Empress energy. And maybe we are starting to pay attention, to tune into this intuition of what's next, and to go beneath the surface and to nurture that as well. To really listen to our inner selves and what do we need? What do we need? How can we caretake ourselves and keep up this growth? So I feel that's our Empress energy. On Thursday, so we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Thursday, we have Two of Cups, and Two of Cups is a really lovely card. It traditionally, as you can maybe see by the hearts and the ribbons sort of twining in here, it is a card generally of romance, but not everybody wants romance, or sometimes people have all the romance they need in their lives. So I like to think of it more as a really deep soul connection, however you want that or want to invite that into your life. This is a deep soul connection. It could be a business connection, a business partnership. Again, if that's what you're trying to call in or what you'd like to call in, it could be that. It could be a deep friendship connection. It could be reconnecting with an old friend you've lost touch with. It could be romance. Again, this is a good card for if you're thinking about asking someone out, if you're thinking about whether or not you should go on that date. I mean, you know yourself best. Again, caveat that you know yourself best. But this would be a card that would tell you maybe go on that date. Maybe there's a connection there, and listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. Be open to nurturing new things and be open to this connection because these are this is across the board a positive connection. It's a deep, really soul stirring positive connection in whatever way it shows up. So that's Two of Cups for Thursday. For Friday, let's see, we have Dev Patel in Slumdog Millionaire. I believe that's what this is. Page of Coins. And much like here, we thought about what do we have to do, or appreciating what we've grown. Page of Coins invites us to take that next step with a beginner's mind, to take whatever this is. We're ready to move it further by the end of the week, moving later. We're appreciating, we're thinking, we're taking stock, and our Page of Coins tells us we're ready for whatever that next step is. We're ready to start planning. We admit we know how much we don't know. This is very much that sort of card, that sort of, I think I've said it before, sort of that childlike wonder of how does this work? What is this? Why? It's that sort of energy, but it's a good day. It's a good day to start that. It's a good day to be in that energy. It's a good day to start learning, maybe for the next steps. Maybe again, I'm going to use the half marathon or the road race example. Maybe, you've completed that first phase of training and you're like, okay, well, how do I really step it up in my next phase of training? So you start looking up, different strength training plans or different, running methods and things, and really try to figure it out. And like I said, in the meantime, realizing, there's a lot to learn, and just to be open to receive that knowledge, and listening to those intuitive pathways, and going there with that. So yeah, it's good day to think about what's next. Good day to start planning and learning more. For Saturday, we have Ten of Cups, and Ten of Cups is a really lovely card. It's a card that sort of signifies, well, it's the end of the cups journey, if you will. And the cups are a suit of water. They're a suit of emotions, a lot of creativity here, passion, can be a suit of intuition and more, gut feelings and those sort of psychic hits, if you will. But Ten of Cups is a place where we're really happy. We're very satisfied. We're relatively abundant, maybe not, not abundance in the sense of wealth, but we likely have very fulfilling relationships, whether romantic or professional or friendship, or even with the pets in our lives. We likely have very fulfilling relationships. We likely know what makes us happy and what doesn't. We likely know what we want in our life and what we don't. We're probably pretty good at setting boundaries at this point. But much like our Seven of Coins, to appreciate the work we've done, Ten of Cups invites you to take a moment to appreciate how much you have, how rich those connections are, how nice that creativity is, how wonderful it is to be a compassionate, passionate, caring, emotionally savvy individual in today's world, and to kind of shine that light, to really appreciate. You've got all your cups in a row, so to speak, here, which is really quite lovely. And then on Sunday, we have our Knight of Cups reversed. And normally we've got Carrie Elwes and the Princess Bride. And again, Carrie Elwes, that's how I say it. I don't know if that's not the way to say it. Please let me know. I'm sorry. But it's reversed. So normally Knight of Cups is very romantic. He's a Prince Charming. But at his worst, he's a Prince Charming that can lead you astray. He's someone who can get you in love with being in love. And so reversed, there's sort of a warning here of don't get swept away by something that seems to be too good to be true. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't, like, if your friend is like, let's go on this bargain vacation I found, let's do it, let's book it. And you're like, I don't know, man, my intuition is telling me no, I don't think so. I don't think that sounds great. Sounds amazing. I don't think so. I've got work to do. I don't think so. I've got work to do. No, thank you. So that's very much Knight of Cups reversed energy. It's if it was upright, you can invite that love in. But this is sort of like, don't be careful of the rose-colored glasses here. Be careful of getting too swept up with being in love with love, basically. Don't get caught up in the good vibes at the risk of not paying attention to the reality. And that is Sunday. So yeah, I like this. I like this deck. I haven't used this deck in a bit, but I like this deck. And I'm totally going to look up and see if this is Elizabeth Taylor and Cleopatra. Sorry. Yeah, so that's it. That is our tarot spread for the week of August 18th, even though it's August 19th. And as always, if you like this, please, you can subscribe, you can share it with your friends. Feel free to leave me comments. I appreciate comments, questions, etc., etc. Yeah, so let me know what you think. Or not, that's okay too. And I will see you next week.